Today on Recliner Reviews, we're going to be talking about a classic comedy, high school comedy from the late 90s. But first, I want to talk about a drink we're having today that's pretty tasty.
So today we got, it's from our good friends at Blue Blazer. We had a Caddyshack drink for Caddyshack. And this one, we've got another Caddyshack drink, but this one's called Murray Brothers Caddyshack 19th Hole. It's got Aperol, CH vodka, simple syrup, something French, lemon juice, and packs a little bit of a punch to it too. Oh wow! Very interesting color. This. You know, it's. Well,
last time we had was very refreshing. So
yeah, for sure.
I have high hopes for this.
Yeah. So cheers.
Salute. Now to the movie.
American Pie.
What exactly does it feel like?
Warm apple pie.
The fascination.
Huh?
We'll just tell your mother that we ate it all.
So American Pie came out late 90s. I remember when I was young when this movie came out, but I remember hearing so much about it. Like, it was a big deal when it came out. Didn't see it, obviously, until I became of age to be able to see a movie like that, but I've seen it a gazillion times since. And this kind of kick-started a genre of not just high school, college, like early 20s, all the characters, of what is actually a real genre. You can find a Wikipedia on it, called sex comedy. So you have this, you have American Pie 2, American Wedding, Euro Trip. I would maybe even consider, like, you can maybe group the Van Wilder movies into this a little bit.
And what's the one, is it Road Trip? The one with Tom Green and where they go from the one school that the dude makes a sex tape and he has to go from...
Is it called Road Trip?
Bruh.
I think it's Road Trip.
Call in if you know. But like from 99 to like 04,
Stifler's
05.
in that movie too.
Yes. They reuse a lot of the characters in all these movies.
Yeah.
Of the sex... Dude, it's not a sex comedy, but like Dude, Where's My Car? There's just like very similar characters, actors, and then themes of like stupidity and drinking and sex and all these kinds of things. This movie specifically is about trying to lose your virginity by prom night, which I guess is kind of funny, but like, and that plot's been duplicated in some ways over and over again. It's been a theme. It doesn't really resonate though. It's like, I'm not saying like because I was like getting laid all the time in high school. I just mean like it wasn't a thing with my friends to like get together and be like, we have to lose our virginity by prom night as 18-year-olds. That, I don't know if it was a thing in the 90s or something, but that's...
I don't think it was a thing in the 90s. I just feel like...
Making a pact for that is weird too.
And we had a pact!
This is meant to take place in Michigan, in fairly rural Michigan, as referenced by the fact that they go to... Lacrosse goes to state at Michigan State, and the choir thing is at Michigan State as well. So it's somewhere in Michigan. I think it's pretty rural. Maybe that's the difference between growing up in like rural America and like urban/suburban. You know, like growing up in Chicago or growing up just outside of Chicago. Like maybe there's a difference there. Maybe that's why like this resonates for so many people, because it's like, yeah, absolutely. We tried to lose our virginity by prom if we hadn't already. Like,
I guess, and also like the task is allows itself to so many goofy things to happen, like with the webcam, which is the funniest moment in the whole movie, is the premature ejaculation on the webcam. Fucking the pie, obviously, like all this stuff, like all these, and then like the lengths that these guys will go to try to lose their virginity to meet girls and stuff.
I mean, you call it a sex comedy, but I mean, I feel like I wrote down calling it a gross out movie.
I'm not the one calling it a sex comedy.
No, I know, but
this is on Wikipedia.
Wikipedia. Information about things.
Like, I feel like gross out movie maybe like
That's fair
an
too.
appropriate like.
I mean, the guy puts his dick in a pie, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty gross.
Yeah, I've never done that.
I can't say that I mean I can't say that I've done that for an actual like full apple pie.
So like the McDonald's
like
apple
a
pie.
McDonald's.
That's not weird. But yeah, no, gross out movie works, and it just kind of. I've said this in other episodes too, so I'm repeating myself, but we've talked about a lot of college, high school movies. I think this movie does it. The plot and everything is done fairly well, but like I said before, it like kickstarted this genre of sex comedies and then like college and high school like drinking movies.
Yeah.
And let's stop making high school related movies.
Stop it. Get some help.
Like glorifying being in high school.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't that great. If you had a nice time in high school, you're probably having a shitty time in your 40s right now. Like high school was awkward. There were some fun moments and whatever, but like making all these movies glorifying like being 18 and stuff, like I had a fun time when I was 18, but I've had way better times in the preceding 10 years.
But I mean, it's clearly written by somebody who didn't have a good high school experience and wishes they had a good high school experience.
I guess.
And is writing it like, look, I'm writing this because I really wish that I had this experience. Like, I really wish that I had these friends or I had this. I don't know. That's my take. Is that it's possibly written by some, and I don't know. I mean, I haven't done a deep dive into who the writer, like what the writer's life was going into this. But I don't know. I just kind of feel like it's a wishful thinking and like saying that like a lot of people have this experience. I didn't have this experience, but a lot of people have this experience, and so I'm gonna write about this experience.
It could be, but I just like the most realistic. It's junior high, but the most realistic experience movie about the experience of being that age is Bo Burnham's 8th Grade. I don't know if you've seen that, about a girl who's in 8th grade. She's awkward and like going through puberty and doing the vlogs and stuff. That is like, it's very cringy. It's like really hard to watch, but it's like so relatable because it's like, it's not going well for her. Being in 8th grade is awkward. Being in high school is awkward. It's a very awkward time. I think this movie's funny and I enjoy watching it. We're rewatching it even for its faults, and I'll say them while we talk about this, but like, let's just stop with the frickin' high school movies.
Oh, for sure.
Stop it.
But it's also unrealistic. This movie is unrealistic for a lot of reasons.
Well, yeah.
Number one, they have a choir and there's 5 guys and 4 girls. That's not realistic. That's not realistic in high school. You normally have like 2 guys who want to sing in a choir and it's like 15 girls. So that's unrealistic, especially for also a public high school having that number of people in a choir. Unrealistic. Also unrealistic, the webcam over 56K. I don't know. I mean, this is maybe a little too far back for you, but like, you can't do a webcam over 56K. And he's dialing up to do a webcam so that he
Never had a webcam.
I mean, I remember the days you had to have a dedicated webcam that you would plug into the computer, and you sure as hell didn't do it with a modem, a dial-up modem. I mean, you could, but then it was also like, you wouldn't have gotten the visuals and the like actual video that they got like that. It would have been like herky-jerky. I mean, completely unrealistic.
To that point though too, this is very 90s.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Late 90s, that is. Like that watching, like I was alive, I know what a webcam was and all that stuff, but like watching it, like it feels very late 90s, early 2000s.
A lot of it is. Yeah. A lot of it is. And I mean,
and that's not an insult or a compliment, just
it's a fact of matter, but like, I don't know, I've had a lot of problems with this movie.
I got a lot of problems with you people. Now you're gonna hear about it.
For various reasons. And I guess it's just like a hang up on my end, right? Like just mentally, I just can't get beyond these couple of things. But like, first off, with the webcam thing, even if you are European.
What?
Even if you are European, okay? And Europeans are more free with their bodies and whatever like that. Do you seriously go to somebody's house and go, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go and get off in this person's house on their bed.
It makes no sense, though. It is because they wouldn't have been able to do that if she wasn't European. It's like, oh, she's European and different and weird and like free and sexual and stuff. Yeah.
Like that just, I don't know, like that. I don't know, I have a disconnect. Like, and a lot of these different
a lot of
things
I have
that
a
like
disconnect with in here.
In this movie, like watching them do these things, and you're like, no, that's not like. I don't know.
I mean, banging your friend's mom.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
For
I mean,
sure.
that's unrealistic. this is a thing I have a gripe with in a lot of high school and college movies, is the parties they throw are insane. I like, there were very few parties like that actually in high school. Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna go back to the same gripe I have about high school movies in general. Every comment I have in this thing, and to the point of that too. So Seth Rogen, who wrote Superbad, started writing Superbad when he was 13 years old, and he wrote it throughout high school based on his experiences. It didn't come out until 2007. So while he was writing this movie, American Pie came out, and he was terrified that American Pie like stole the thunder from what he was writing because it was basically the same movie.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show, like, these are all the same movies from like 99 to like 2010.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, a lot of it is a very similar aspect, and maybe it's maybe it has something to do with rural versus urban, like.
But to that point, though, this was like the first one, and it probably does it extremely well. Like, it's to its credit that it inspired so many movies after it, and a bunch of sequels.
Yeah, for sure, and created that genre. Like, again, the reason why I call it gross out and not a sex comedy is, like, for example, the whole thing with Tara Reid, who, by the way, it's Tara Reid before she got all weird and plastic surgery and everything. You know, like, it was like the baseline of Tara Reid, right? The whole scene with her and Henry Rowan-Gardner.
The entire season is resting on Rowan-Gardner's shoulders.
Yeah.
Where he...
I'm glad you called him by his correct name.
By his real correct name. Where he comes in the cup of beer, and then Stifler drinks it, like... That's gross. Like, that's not a sex thing. Like,
right.
that's gross. Like, that's just straight up gross. Fucking an apple pie. That's gross.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a bunch of these things that are there that, like, throughout the movie, it's like, it's gross. It's meant to be gross. It's a gross out comedy. That's why I call it a gross out comedy. But...
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I think I actually agree with you, because there are things in here that are disgusting. And I don't even understand why the pie thing was that funny. Like I said before, the funniest moment is the premature ejaculation on the webcam. And there are other funny moments in the thing. And talk about quotable, I don't know, this is probably the generation difference here, but when I was in high school, even in college, people would do this one time at band camp.
Is this one time at band camp?
What's your name?
Oh, for sure.
They would do that line all the time.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. I mean, look, this movie came out at the end of my high school experience, is when this movie came out.
Oh, so it coincides with your pursuit to lose your virginity before
my pursuit, my personal pursuit. So, like, and I was friends with a lot of band people. So you better believe that, like, that line was... Like, the band people heard that line.
Yeah.
100% heard that line over and over and over again. To the point where, like, they just got sick of it. Especially the people who played the flute. The poor people who played the flute, like, had to hear it all the time.
Yeah.
You know, again, this is like, it is quotable. There are some quotes in there, like little quotes in there. It's not as quotable as some of the other movies that we've talked about. But it's something that, again, I guess people kind of... Maybe if you're not necessarily going towards the idea of...
We all have to lose our virginity by the end of high school.
There's something there, right? As a group of friends, as a group of high school friends.
In that way,
there's
it's
something there that you understand. Yes. We're a group of friends, we hang out, we rip on the one dude because he can't poop in public. And because he acts like he's 35 years old, even though he's only 18, right?
Yeah.
Like, you rip on everybody for these different elements, right? There's something that's understood there.
Yeah.
Maybe not their end goal, but what they are as their daily life.
Exactly. And it's almost like like these bromance movies, like I Love You Man, or like The Hangover's kind of like this, where it's like a group of dudes together, like fighting for the same thing. So it's almost irrelevant to the losing your virginity thing.
Yeah.
I think other movies that were derivative of this have taken like that as an angle. Like Superbad's that too, and that's a funny movie, and we'll talk about that in another episode. But they're talking about losing their, like, getting laid before they graduate, and like, I think that's the wrong part of this movie to be derivative of, because that's just like, that should have been unique to this movie. It shouldn't have been like copied of like, we're 18, we're going to these parties and drinking beer and getting laid and all this kind of stuff. That, like, most people's high school experiences are not like that.
Yeah.
That's the part that I get. I watch this movie a lot when it's on TV and stuff, and I think I can laugh at it, but it also frustrates me at times, and I have to be like, this is all unrealistic, and this is all, at times, kind of stupid.
You know, and I think that there are elements of this movie that they don't hold up for various reasons. Like one of the things is like, this is revenge porn before revenge porn was even a thing. Like, because of the fact that he premature ejaculates.
Yeah.
Like, and everybody sees it on the webcam, and then they're going to share that video with everybody, and then they're going to make him feel bad about it. You know, like, not cool. First off, not cool, high school kids.
Stop it.
Not cool, high school kids. But, like, there's just, like, these elements to it that, again, it's not realistic. And then, like, the other thing that drove me wild is, like, they're in the shower, and he's not wearing flip-flops. That's how you get athlete's foot.
You've got all that itching and cracking stuff, and watch this. Boom, even burning. You see that? Now that's what you call a really tough case.
Yeah.
That's how you get athlete's
That's
foot, people.
disgusting.
I mean, that's gross. I mean, that's awful. You can't do that. You can't do that in a public shower, and it's like it's no thing, you know? I mean, let's be realistic about this. Writers of Hollywood, if you're writing a scene where, I don't know why you're writing a scene with a bunch of high school guys in a shower together, you do you, but make them wear flip-flops at least, okay? So that this way they're not getting athlete's foot.
I don't miss that at all. Like even like in college in the communal bathrooms, we had to put the flip-flops to walk down the hall.
That was
to
the
take
worst.
a cold shower where somebody peed in like 5 minutes prior.
That was the worst.
That was fucking disgusting. I can't believe I ever did that. In my floor, there was like one shower that had hot water, and then you'd find like, I found gummy bears in the shower once, and like somebody may have puked in there the night before.
Not even like good gummy bears, because they didn't have those probably.
Yeah, I
back then.
tried them. They weren't very good. And the curtain was shitty. It was all bad.
I mean, look, I just talked to my eldest niece, okay? She's going away to college this year, okay? And she's telling me about what her dorm life is going to be like. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me here?
She has, like, a
Like
private bathroom?
all of the like dorms are like they're communal, so they're like pods. So there are several rooms, but like they have their own bathroom in the fucking rooms. I'm like, are you fucking shitting me? I had to go, if I wanted to go to the bathroom, I had to go down the hall to go to the fucking bathroom. If I want to go take a shower, I had to go down the hall and take a shower with fucking Bob down the hall, who was in the curtain over, showering or doing whatever the fuck he's doing. Like, what the hell?
I remember going into the bathroom and but hearing people on their laptop in the stalls, like watching South Park.
Dude, God damn it, Carmen, you broke it!
Somebody like, everyone pissed in the showers, and we all just went in the shower after they pissed. It was I can't fathom ever doing that again.
No, absolutely not. And like the kids nowadays, they probably don't understand a lot of these things because they're like, we don't have communal showers. We don't, like, we live in a dorm, but they've reworked all the dorms that it's like they're suites and everybody has their own like thing to that. It's like
forgetting your key after taking a shower.
Oh God.
I will say my sophomore year of college, I had a private bathroom. It was pretty nice.
Well, that's.
Yeah.
In the years that I lived in a dorm, we never had a private anything. So like, we had to go down the hall if we wanted to go and take a shower or whatever. So it was the worst.
But yeah, athlete's foot.
And that could be tough.
That was, you gotta wear flip-flops. But yeah, just
And them just sitting around and talking in the locker room. Like, honestly, I mean, maybe my experience is different in life, in like life even after high school, after college. But I tell you what I'm not doing when I'm in the fucking locker room. Sitting down and having a fucking conversation. You know what I'm doing? I'm going in, getting dressed, and going the fuck out of the locker room.
Yeah.
I don't want to fucking sit around in the locker room, let alone now, like, if you go to a gym and you got a fucking guy who's, 65 years old with his old ass balls dragging around. I don't want to fucking sit around and chat with you about what I'm doing this weekend. Like, fucking get yourself changed. We'll meet outside. You can talk to me then.
Right. I wish I could go back to 1999 for like a second and watch this movie with the context of everything up until 1999. Because I wonder if, maybe I'm wrong here because you were 18 when this came out, or 17 or whatever, and you seem to have a lot of the same takes that I do. But there's so much in this movie that I just can't connect to. And I always assume, like, every time I watch it, I'm like, I laugh at a lot of the things in it, but I'm like, it's dated. Like, this is just like, this is the first high school gross out sex movie. I know it's like the top of it, but it's like, it doesn't connect with me because I went to high school a decade after this fact. But it sounds like the problems in this movie still apply.
I mean, look, I poke fun and say about like the 56K modem or whatever. Like, it's little things like that are just kind of, like, I say it jokingly, right? Like, that's why it doesn't hold up. But like, honestly, if you take out the element of let's get laid before prom, and you just have it be a high school thing, like it pretty much holds true, you know, because it's like it's a bunch of friends and they goof around with one another and they interact with these other groups. The idea of a house party, again, not as much of a thing necessarily like when you're talking about like living in Chicago, right? As opposed to maybe suburban. Suburban is slightly different. Like I knew, like there were plenty of parties in high school that were like, oh, my parents are out of town this weekend. We're gonna get a couple of kegs because my brother's gonna pick up some kegs for us. That's 100% true. Like,
Yeah.
And then we're all gonna hang out at this party, and maybe some band geeks. I say that because it's in the movie. They refer to them as band geeks, but like band geeks are gonna come and they're gonna kind of do their thing in the corner over here, and these cliques are gonna do their thing over here. Like that holds true. Like that generally holds true.
The cliques does for sure.
You know, I mean, and again, the like relationships between everybody holds true. Yes, the whole idea of I'm gonna try and fuck your mother.
Keep my
Mother.
name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay?
That does not hold up. That 100% does
Speak
hold
for
up.
yourself.
You want to share something about high school experiences where, well, by that time, you all knew about Stifler's mom and the idea
Right,
of Stifler's mom. And there's that song with Stifler's mom and whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of the thing. It's like
Stacy's mom.
Stacy's mom.
Sorry.
Yeah,
sorry, Stacy's
but
mom.
Stifler's mom became like a thing after this movie. Yeah, you're right, and like the thing that works for all high school movies and probably college movies too is the idea of cliques.
Yeah.
You have the jocks and the nerds and the band, like all those, they always apply. And like so for this movie, came out when you were finishing high school. For me, like a decade later, Superbad came out when I was a freshman in high school, and that was like my generation's high school movie. Basically the same plot.
Yeah.
I'd say it's a little funnier, it connects with me a little bit more. Is there a high school, maybe I was right in ending high school movies at the start of this podcast. Is there a high school movie for people in like 2016, 2017, 2018?
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Maybe I was
haven't
right.
paid enough attention about like movies that have been coming out that might be like a high school movie or anything like that. I mean,
High School Musical?
high school, come on.
Are they fucking in High School Musical and having house parties and
Playing basketball and
trying to lose their virginity?
Yeah,
and-
that's very Disney on brand.
Oh,
that,
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the director's cut of The Last Jedi, but oof. So maybe I did end high school movies appropriately. That's what I wanted to do. So
I mean, look, I think like it might be cyclical. Like these things might, there might be like 5-10 years from now, they might like be like, hey, you know what we need to do? We need to do a high school movie where these kids are getting up to their hijinks and stuff like that. Maybe that's what's gonna come. I don't know. I don't think that it's necessary at this point. I think it's kind of played out. And I mean, for this movie, like, I don't know. I guess I just, like, it's reminiscent of a time that I grew up, so I understand it. I don't understand necessarily like the whole idea of the plot of this movie, but
it's relatively harmless, and it doesn't really fall in any. I mean, the Stifler's mom thing, like that's a classic thing where it's like, if the gender roles were reversed, that's not funny.
no.
Obviously,
But
I don't know about you, but if you like joked about banging one of your friend's moms.
No.
Oh.
No.
Well, teach their own.
But I do say, like, the one thing is like, I want to ask this question and tell me what you think about this. And maybe this goes to canceling high school comedies, because I feel like you're on the same page with me with this. Isn't it weird to be so, like, to spend an hour and a half being invested in the sex lives of teenagers? Whether or not you are a teenager. Like, at the time, I was a teenager, or just about the end of my teenage years. Like, why, like, if I'm damn near 40 at this point, and you're, damn near 30 or 30, whatever you are now.
I'm under 30.
You're under 30?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, great. Thanks for making me feel bad. You're damn near 30. Isn't it weird to be invested in the lives of a
Now that you
teenager?
pointed out, it is. So, like, I kind of relate to this to how I view college sports. Bear with me here. When I was younger than college age, I could be emotionally invested in college sports. After graduating college, I I still follow college sports, but I have a hard time getting too emotionally invested sometimes. Like, I'm sure like in a big, there'll be exceptions to that rule, but it's like, I see them as kids. I see the athletes as kids. So now, like with these movies, like I saw Superbad, the characters were older than me. American Pie, the characters were older than me. So you kind of see them as like a little bit more adult, but now watching it as an adult, I can still kind of connect. They have to nail the awkwardness is the thing. Like I can still kind of connect with some of the awkward moments because that's what I remember from high school. Like I can connect with the idea of trying to get a girl to like you and like being awkward and all that kind of stuff. But really like rooting for like these characters to get laid is very odd if it's like a 17, 18-year-old.
Yeah. One final note, or two final notes rather, I should say. I just want to say that the guy who wrote this actually used a real person as the inspiration for Stifler.
Oh.
And that person was arrested for murder because he stabbed a dude in a bar fight. So Stifler stabbed a dude in a bar fight.
That's pretty funny.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but like,
no, it's funny.
It's kind of funny.
In the arms of the angel.
That's
kind of funny, yeah. And then also, Stifler was actually only paid $8,000 for this movie.
What?
$8,000. Eternally Stifler, because he's in that road trip movie as Stifler.
He's also probably the funniest character because everyone has a friend like that who's just kind of like, dude, calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I feel about the movie. I kind of feel like it's not great, but only because there's so many movies that are derivative of it that I kind of lump American Pie in with Euro Trip and with the Road Trip, like all these movies that came out in this generation. I kind of like see them as one movie. They all have the same soundtrack too.
Yeah,
it's like punk rock and like
the fact that they can make a parody movie, the Not Another Teen movie.
Oh,
which is like
we
literally
should do that at some point. Yeah,
you know, like they're literally making fun of this movie.
Yes.
And all of the movies that go along with it because it's all falls into the same genre.
And here's the thing: Not Another Teen movie came out in like 04, 05, 06, sometime around there. That connected with me more because I was of the age where I could recognize the humor in it, and my sense of humor had matured.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's funny, because it's making fun of these movies that come out every single year when I couldn't comprehend the humor of it. So I'm kind of like lukewarm on American Pie.
It's fine. Like,
it's got some giggles, but it feels like it's...
I feel kind of bad for giggling some of the times, right? Like, again, you point out that the funniest point in this movie is that he premature ejaculates. Jason Biggs or whatever is his name.
Yeah. Premature
ejaculates because, like, twice, because this hot girl is sitting in his bed with him, right? I feel bad for laughing at that. Like, well, again, I'm damn near 40 at this point, so again, it's awkward, like, being invested in the sex lives of these 18-year-old.
No, it is weird.
Whatever.
That's a
so, like,
good point.
I feel awkward laughing at it, being like, yeah, okay, like, yes, it's funny, because, haha, but also, why the fuck do I care? Why the fuck do I care about this movie?
Right. Yeah.
I guess is the big question. Why the fuck?
Deep down, that's kind of the point I have. I don't like any of the characters.
You're not invested in any of the
And
characters.
I have a hard time taking, not just like caring about the sex life, taking the relationships in high school movies in general, not just this one, the relationships serious in the movie.
I mean, I tell you what though, I do understand that. And the whole thing with Henry Rowan-Gartner and his girlfriend and Tara Reid, right? The whole thing that they're like, oh, we'll be together forever. Like, yeah, that is 100% high school. Like, you think that you will be together forever.
I get that.
Sorry, honey. Yeah. But, you know.
I get them saying that, but like I have a hard time rooting for them then because like you're gonna break up. I'm sorry, you're gonna break up. This is a family show, so if you're a high schooler and you're watching this and you're dating somebody, you guys are gonna break up.
This has been your Joe Kaiser Realist Truth Moment.
I'd say like 90% chance you're gonna break up.
Yes.
90% chance.
Yeah.
90% chance. Sorry, honey.
I would go higher. Did you know your wife in?
Yeah, we dated in high school.
Oh, okay.
At the end of high school.
So, okay.
When this movie came out, actually. When this movie came out, we were dating.
Okay, so.
Hi, honey.
This has been your Chris Lentina realist wife moment.
1% chance that it works out, and it works out great, and they're happy, and they're wonderful people. But everyone else, you guys are going to break up.
Wonderful people is a debatable term.
You're going to break up.
This has been your Chris Lentina real sleeping on the couch moment.
For me.
You're going to meet other
Sorry,
people.
honey.
You're going to have mistakes that you're going to regret, and all kinds of mischief in college and in your 20s. I don't care about your high school relationship. I could care less. Not just this movie, other movies too.
No, you're right.
I can't root for you.
Again, like I understand it. Like I get it, because at that time, like you think your whole world is this other person.
Yeah.
In high school, but you're in high school, and like.
Here's an idea for a high school movie if we're going to keep making them. Couple breaks up at the end of high school, and that's about the breakup in high school.
It's about the breakup in high school, like leading into.
About their gradual breakup at the end of high school. Very sad.
Like a deadline type. So maybe that's it. Instead of trying to get laid by prom, it's you're breaking up with your girlfriend or boyfriend by prom.
Much more relatable.
Or by the end of summer, because you want those extra 3 months before.
Exactly. This is the movie we should work on.
We should write this movie.
The deadline.
Trademarked. So you guys, you can't. Trademarked. Sorry. It's ours.
What's your score for American Pie?
American Pie. Again, gross out movie. 6.3.
Ooh. I feel like it's got a bigger reputation than that, but I'm gonna go sex number 6.9.
Yeah, nice.
7.0.
7.0? No fucking way. Are you kidding me right now?
People like this movie. It started a generation of movies.
What? Who likes this movie? Honestly.
I don't know.
If you like this movie, please put it in the comments. I want to hear. Do you like this movie? Why do you like this movie so much? Honestly, because how? Like, are you? If you are, then you're invested in the sex lives of teenagers, and
you're a creep. That's
you're
fine.
a creep.
There's a lot of creeps. You read about all
That's
this
true.
Epstein stuff?